need to take care of yourself, because you don't want to end up like me, Raider. You don't want to end up like me where you're so dependent on other people for your happiness, because it's not good. It's not good at all.
Look, one of my best friends in the world when I was in the military told me, and he said, you know what? I know the perfect way to describe you. I said, okay, what's that? Thinking he's going to make a funny joke, anything like that. And he gets stone faced and serious and says, you're an emotional leech. I'm like,
Oh.
I looked at him and said, what did you just call me? He said, you're an emotional leech because you get happy because of other people, but you're never happy when you should be happy.
Yeah. Your happiness is relying on other people. So you're definitely an empath like me, for sure.
But the thing is, I don't feel myself as empathetic. It goes in waves. It's not like I just feel it all the time. It's hard to describe because everybody's like, you're really empathetic. You want to help people. I was like, yeah, I feel like I like helping people. I love helping people, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm going through my moods and everything like that, even though I want to be happy for somebody, I'm just like, it's a day.
Yeah.
So, and I get more of those moods now than I do the empathetic, happy person moods.
But you might not realize that you're being empathetic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you do feel like your best friend said that you were an emotional leech, um, you might not be taking notice that it's actively affecting you, but at your core, your subconscious might be being affected. You know, like, I mean, there's definitely things like in our lives, like if you're surrounded by negative, what do they say? Misery loves company.
Yeah, of course.
But unfortunately, I think that for empaths and people that are, um, subconsciously empathetic, which I'm feeling like you're subconsciously empathetic, um, being around that misery can sometimes then in turn, unfortunately, make us miserable without us realizing that that's kind of what's making us miserable, you
I'm
know?
feeling attacked.
I honestly, I sometimes at the end of a 4-hour mental health stream, um, I'll just sit down, and because I'm an empath, like I won't realize that my happiness is now, like I'll feel good because I'll be like, okay, I really feel like I feel like I got through to somebody, and I feel like maybe they could breathe a little bit easier after even just opening up, like saying something out loud. Like I'm sure it probably felt great for you to sit here and say that you struggle with schizophrenia. You know what I mean? Like even just saying that out loud, like, hey, I have OCD, I have PTSD, I have borderline personality disorder. That almost many times will be a little tiny weight off of our shoulders. And if that's all you take out of it, then like fine. But there's also many times where, and I'm very grateful for it. I'm so happy that people feel so open with me and that they do feel like my community is a safe space, because I feel like that's the goal in my entire life, honestly. So when they say that, it makes me feel really good. But there are many times where they will um, they will open up to me, and because I am so empathetic, like I put myself so deeply in their shoes that then like I turn the camera off and all I can think about is, oh my gosh, like this person went through this and it's just so terrible. And and then it's like, and because I have OCD, then my brain is just repeating it and is like, okay, what can we do? Like what can we do to turn this around for them? And it's like then that's on my brain the whole day, and then it's like now I'm just like moping around the house because I'm like, crap, I'm like, people just, their lives are really sad. And it's like it sucks sometimes. I don't know how paid therapists do it. I mean, they have to, I would imagine that they would have to not be empaths, because if you hear horrible crap all day and then you're like, I would carry it around all day in my brain, and I would just be like repeating it, like, man, the world is sad and scary, and it would drain me. It really would. But Yeah, I don't know. I think it's good, and I would hope that you feel better putting it out there. Now the world knows you have schizophrenia.
Yeah, it's I've been putting off saying it for since I started doing podcasting, and podcasting has become more of a therapeutic thing for me more than anything else. I enjoy it. I love doing this. I really do.
Yeah,
Um, I do. I take time for it. I write out everything for it. This was the episode I said, no, we're going to go through this raw and just see how
it's
this
just
goes. And
full
then,
send.
yeah, full send. And we're going to see how this goes and see where it lands.
Well, hopefully we land on the moon.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
always. So, uh,
How do you, let me ask you real quick
okay.
so that I don't cut you off later. How
Okay.
do you feel? Because I'm very genuinely curious about this. How do you feel like schizophrenia affects you the most in your everyday life? Because I feel like your answer might help some people. So that's why I'm asking.
For me, it's honestly interpersonal relationships in all forms and fashions. Because I have 15 million things going through my head, and like two of them be actually real.
Mm,
And I'll be having a conversation with somebody, and I'm gone. I'm just gone. Uh,
yeah.
it happened. It happened a couple days ago. I was having a conversation with my ex, and I was there. I was involved in this conversation. It was important. Blanked, started seeing something or hearing something, and I was gone to the point.
Yeah.
I get back, and I just look at her face, and she's just worried. And and she looks at me and like, "What's wrong?" And I'm just I'm looking fucking terrified. Like I just
Yeah.
saw the worst thing in the world. Because that was the point I started realizing, like, okay, I need to contact my doctors. We need to up my doses because nothing's working normal now.
Yeah.
And I was shaking, couldn't 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 get couldn't verbalize the right way. It was one of those times of I realized I have zero control over this way of living just because, and it took all 5 minutes for it just to come to realization and struggle. And I hate that feeling so much. And that's why I tend to isolate myself more, because if I don't interact with a lot of people, then I'm not going to get judged so harshly
Yeah. That's true. That's
because
a feeling.
I went to the grocery store. I'll be at the grocery store for 2 hours and go get five things.
Hmm.
And
I mean, I do it too, though, but just because, you know, I call the grocery store vacation when you're a mom, but continue.
yeah, see,
I call it my vacation.
mine's not that way. It goes. I go there for a couple simple things just to make it. Hey, I just need food for this. I need to make it this day. Then I'm good, and I do that. I lose time.
Mm,
So, and I just realized, and I get back home like, oh, cool. I got all my stuff. I'm happy. I went outside today. I went and dealt with people today. Get home. I look at my phone,
it's like 2 hours.
and it just comes to realization of what this isn't real. This is real life for me, and it's not. It just it tears you apart without you even realizing it's tearing you apart anymore. And
Yeah.
it becomes to be normalized, and everyone starts to try to treat you well as much as they can, but it starts taking a toll on them too, because there's only so much some people have, so much patience people have, so much time in a day people have, and then you start looking at it and you start seeing it, and you just
I know my
feel,
fiance is listening to this.
oh, that's awesome.
probably like, because he's definitely going to listen to this later on. So, hi, baby. I know he's turning that part up. Continue. That's me.
But, um,
I drained that poor man. I know it.
yeah, and you look at them, and you go for that feeling of, oh, they understand me. You go for that look, and then they have, and it's not the look of we're here for you. It's the look of I'm gonna put you in a fucking padded room,
Yeah, for
or it's
sure.
I'm more concerned about you than anything else, and you start to want to pull away
Hmm.
really fast. Not just the whole I'm gonna step back. No, I'm fucking gone.
Yeah, I'm
Then
gone.
we're not gonna deal with this problem anymore. And then next time it happens, you won't feel so bad.
Yeah.
So
Dude, you
okay, I
sound
guess
just like me. You
yeah,
sound just like me.
I
I
guess I
tell
guess
him all the time, I'm just going to pack my bags. I'm like, fine. I'm like, if I make you that miserable, then I'm just going to pack my bags and leave. And it's not like I want to leave him. I love him.
yeah,
I love him more than anything in the whole world. But I think that for me, I love him so much that that's why I say I'm going to pack my bags.
because you don't want
Because,
him to deal with it or just
yeah,
have this strain on him, and
yeah.
that's
Because you can see it on their face. Like their whole face will just change. And then you're just like, holy shit, I just ruined his day.
exactly.
And I'm like, and then that makes you feel worse because you're already like in your own head and struggling and suffering. And then you open up to the person you care most about, and then you drain the whole life out of them, and then you're like, wow, I really am a piece of shit, aren't I? And then you're
Yeah,
like, well, I guess I'll just go now because I'm ruining
exactly.
everything. I'm
That
so glad that I'm not the only one. Oh my gosh, I think you're the
you're
first person I've ever met that feels the same damn way, because I feel the same way. I
I,
always am just like, I'm leaving. And I'm like, but I'm not actually leaving. I'm just in that moment. I'm like, and I always call it the fight or flight, and I just always feel like, but the flight isn't because I'm unhappy with him or unhappy with the situation. I'm unhappy with my mental health and how it's affecting the situation.